What's up, guys? So there are 3 DC K.O. tie-in issues that come out on Wednesday, November 26th. I got a chance to read all of them over the weekend and just wanted to tell you a little bit about them. The first one is Superman number 32. This is written by Joshua Williamson and the art is by Eddie Barrows. There are 2 main plots in this issue. The first one centering around Lois, whose powers returned at the end of last issue. She is determined to save the Kryptonian archives in the Fortress of Solitude because they contain crucial information about Darkseid and Doomsday, but there are some characters who enter the fray who want to prevent her from doing that. The other plot tells us how Lex Luthor and the other villains escaped the Phantom Zone and entered the tournament. I don't want to spoil any of that for you, but it's a great example of how much of a genius Luthor really is. This issue also runs parallel to DC K.O. number 2 that also comes out this week, so if you get that book and this book, read DC K.O. number 2 first and then this issue. I had a great time reading this issue. It doesn't really add anything to the tournament that's happening in the main book, but again, it explains how the villains got into the tournament in the first place, so if you read DC K.O. number 1, you might want to read this just to get that explanation. Plus, it's just really good. Next up is Justice League Unlimited number 13. This is written by Mark Waid and the art is by Dan Mora. Mr. Terrific's Terrific 10, which is the team of time-displaced heroes that he put together last issue, fight their way through hell in order to get to Neron. It's a dangerous and perilous journey that is full of the heroes fighting all kinds of creepy demons, and while I won't tell you what happens, I will say that not everyone makes it. Meanwhile, on Earth, we see some of the remaining heroes dealing with the villains that Neron powered up, and they're really giving the heroes a run for their money. There's a scene with Kid Flash that is very cool and hints at something more sinister to come. This doesn't really contribute to the main DC K.O. story, but I still recommend it because it's just so good. I really love the Terrific 10, and Dan Mora outdoes himself with all of the crazy things he draws in hell. And last but not least, we have The Flash number 27. This is written by Mark Waid and Christopher Cantwell, and the art is by Vasco Georgiev. This entire issue features Flash and Impulse fighting a few members of the Legion of Darkseid and also Max Mercury, who the Legion has corrupted. Flash and Impulse can tell that something is wrong with the Speed Force, and it appears that Darkseid is trying to replace it with something called Omega Speed. There's not much else I can say without venturing into spoiler territory. It really is one big fight, but it's really fun and has an interesting ending. This is the most skippable of the DC K.O. tie-ins because even though it's related to that story, it's doing its own thing and isn't really concerned with what's happening in the tournament, but I do recommend it if you're a fan of The Flash or just like fun, action-packed books. So those are the 3 DC K.O. tie-in issues that come out this week. None of them really contribute to the tournament that's going on in the main DC K.O. title, but I still do recommend all of these because they're all just really good, really interesting stories, great artwork, great characters, lots of action, and just really fun. So again, these come out on Wednesday, November 26th. Let me know if you picked them up, and if you do, let me know what you think about them.